Building success from failure. Complaint and failure are the two surest stepping stones to success. First, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen to me? Prepare to accept it, then move on to improving my worst. Instead of condemning others, try to understand them. Try to find out why they do what they do. That is more helpful and appealing than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. Never seek a tit-for-tat with an enemy, because by doing so you hurt yourself much more than you hurt them. Don't waste a second thinking about people you don't like. Instead of worrying about what others say about you, why not spend your time trying to achieve something they admire? Most of the important things in the world have been done by people who didn't give up even when there seemed to be no hope. If you can't sleep, then get up and do something about it instead of just lying there worrying. It is anxiety that harms you, not lack of sleep. The expression a woman wears on her face is more important than the clothes she wears. Pitying yourself and your current condition is not only a waste of time, but also the worst habit you can have. Remember that happiness doesn't depend on who you are or what you have, it depends entirely on what you think. So start each day thinking about all that you need to be grateful for. Your future depends greatly on how you think today. So think about hope, confidence, love, and success. Success in dealing with others depends on understanding the other's perspective with an empathetic attitude. The person who goes the farthest is usually the one who dares and takes risks. The boat just wants to be safe and never leaves the shore. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. 15% of a person's financial success comes from technical knowledge, and 85% comes from skills in people relations, from character and ability to lead others. Any fool can criticize, blame, and betray, and most fools do. What is the difference between a normal canopy and an impulsive mind? It's very simple. One side is sincere, and the other side is not. One comes out from the heart, the other comes out from the teeth. One side is unselfish, one side is selfish, one side is generally approved, the other side is often criticized. If you are not in the process of becoming the person you want to be, you are automatically in the process of becoming the person you don't want to be. You can only sing according to who you are, you can only paint according to who you are. You must be what you experience, your environment, and the characteristics that make you up. For better or worse, you must play your own little instrument in the symphony of life. If you want to know how to get people to push you away, laugh at you behind your back, or even hate you, here's the recipe: don't listen to anyone for long. If you have an idea while someone else is talking, don't wait until he's finished, jump right in and cut him off mid-sentence. Knowledge has no power until it is applied. When dealing with others, remember that you are not dealing with creatures of reason, but creatures brimming with prejudice and fueled by whining and pride. 3/4 of the people you meet are hungry for sympathy. Give it to them and they will love you. Only the applied knowledge remains in the mind. One of the most tragic things I know about human nature is that we all have a tendency to just postpone life. We all fantasize about some magical rose garden on the horizon, instead of enjoying the roses now blooming outside our huge umbrella. People are more likely to accept orders if they are part of the decision to give them orders. Even God doesn't judge a man until his last day, so why should you and I? You will survive and good will happen again, and one day you will turn around and see that these things weren't even such a bad thing. How we react to situations determines our emotions. All men are afraid, but the brave man that fear descends and moves forward sometimes towards death but always towards victory. If you argue, antagonize others, you can sometimes win, but it's just an empty victory because you will never get the goodwill of your opponent. You can conquer any fear if in your heart you are determined to do so. Remember, fear does not exist in any head except in the mind. One of the reasons birds and horses don't feel unhappy is because they don't try to impress other birds and horses. Pay little attention to what people say, just watch what they do. If you believe in what you're doing, don't let anything stop you. Most of the world's greatest achievements have been made before the impossible. The only problem is how to complete it. Do you still remember the things you worried about a year ago? How did they end up? You haven't wasted a lot of useless energy on most of that worry. Aren't most of them all right in the end? Many people think that if only they were somewhere else or had another job, they would be happy. That is not certain. So find happiness from what you are doing as much as you can and don't just postpone happiness until some future date. Be more discerning than others if possible, but don't tell them about it. If you tell me where you get your sense of self-importance, I'll tell you who you are. Remember, today is the tomorrow you were worried about yesterday. Why talk about what we want? That's childish. Of course you care about what you want, you will always care about what you want. But no one else, we are all just like you, we care what we want. Criticizing others is pointless, and if you indulge in it too often, you should be wary that it could be fatal to your career. You can measure a person's stature by what makes him angry. There are always 3 words to anyone you speak to. The words you practice, the words you say, and the words you wish you had said. Don't allow yourself to be depressed by things that you should either hate or forget. Remember, life is too short to live in humiliation.